Greetings and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. In this video, we will be continuing our gameplay of the game Hearts and Minds. This is a Vietnam game covering 1965 through 75, so the entirety of the Vietnam War. And I did basically the first turn, or the first round of the first turn. That would be year 1966, which is over here. Let me fix these guys. I think we were set up like that. This is here. And I just showed basically the communist turn and the Allied turn. So we will pick this up with the second round with the communist side. So these are their cards. They have the Hanoi Hilton, Pucker Factor, the Dust Off, and a response card, the Tunnels of Cu Chi. So they could have played this in the first round, but I did not use it because if they get attacked in the SVN, all red units in the battle evade successfully. So this is if you want to avoid combat, you can play this card as a response card and cancel that out. And you are given 5 cards. We used one in the last round. 5 cards for the yearly turn, which goes 4 rounds. So you do have, basically, you have 1 extra card to use as a response if you happen to draw a response card. Now on the American side, you can see we actually don't have any response cards. So one of their cards will go unused this round. All right, so we need to pick which card we're going to use. So we won't use the response card. Now the numbers at the top represent action points or resource points, as they're called in this game, which is kind of a traditional card-driven game mechanic. So we can play this, and then you can purchase the event with it, or pay for the event with it, which would cost. These are black, which can be used by either side. Red is only available for the communist side, and blue is only available for the Allied side. So you'll notice that the U.S. side has all black, but their normal cards would be like this one, which was played in round 1, which is blue. And they only have blue and black in the Allied hand, and the communist hand will only have black and red. If you didn't watch part 1, I go through a lot of that in part 1. I don't want to repeat myself too much. So if you haven't checked out part 1, I do recommend you do so. So this event for the communists would be move at 1 Allied unit from the dead pool to the body count box. So our dead pool is here, and here's our body count box. Now you can see there's 1 Allied unit in there already, and we can move them right now to the body count box. And we'll get into what that means later on. And we have Pucker Factor. Choose a province with red and blue units. Your opponent must retreat at least one of his units from that province. You may buy this event more than once. So you get 3 RPs for this one, and then the last one is 4 Dust Off. Remove an infantry unit from your body count box and place it as a veteran unit in a legal province with no enemy units. We're going to take this one. So we get 4 resource points, and we're going to buy this event with 2. So I'm going to put that in my discard pile, which is off to the side. And we get to, well, I probably shouldn't do that. I'm going to keep it here for now so that I'll remember that I can use this more than once. So we can take one of our units from the dead pool, or the body count rather. Oh wait, we don't have anybody in the body count. We'll just use this card anyway, and we'll just use it for the 4 RPs. So the 4 RPs, you can buy movement, you can buy battles, and so on. So what I think we will do is we will attack in this province right here, because we already have enemy units here. We have 5 points of Allied forces and 5 points of our own. So let me reframe now so that we can zoom in for a closer look at the action. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here in our battle sequence is roll 2 dice. We have a red and a blue. Blue will be for the Allies, red for the Communists. We got a 6 for the red and a 1 for the blue. So this is big for the red here, for the Communists. So you add that to the strength. Now both sides have 5. 5 plus 6, of course, is 11. They have 5 plus 1 is 6. So now you look at the battle table. And on the battle table in the column 11 under red, or the row 11 under red, you get a result of 1R. 1R means you must eliminate that many units, or you must lose 1 RP or eliminate a second unit. So what we're going to do is we're going to eliminate our untried. We'll put them in the dead pool. And we will pay one resource point to keep our other unit alive. And that's on the game track, which is off shot right now. But both sides now have 3. Now they got a 6. So the 6 in the blue column is an R. So they can either pay 1 or lose a unit. Now they have their own untried, so they'll put that in the dead pool as well. And now, because blue is defending, and I didn't do this in the first battle example, I'm kind of trying to build on things a little bit at a time here. So the next sequence, the next part of the sequence is promoting untried infantry. Now both sides actually eliminated their untried infantry, so there's nobody to promote. So then we would go to, if blue is defending, air and naval units may react. So here we have air cav. You can't see that counter at all, can you? You can see they have a 3 in parentheses. They are in the Bin Din province, which is right here. And you can see them right there. So they're right there. Now they are within range of reaction, so we're going to move them in, and that's going to raise this up to a 6 to 4 in favor of the blue, actually. Defender may reinforce from adjacent provinces paying 1 SRP. So I could, in theory, because we have 2 adjacent provinces. We have this one, Toihoa. Yeah, I'm not sure. And then Kanhoa here also has actually a decent number of units in it. So after reinforcing, you can see here that we have, or blue reinforcing by sending the air cav in. We have 6 versus 6. So now that battle is done, okay? And we can, they can either pay another RP, because it's still red's turn. They can pay another RP and attack again, or they can move on and do something else. So let's turn up the pressure a little bit, right? So we have 2 VC over here in play coup. Now they can move in here. You pay 1 to activate them, and then you activate the entire province, and all the units in that province can then move. So we can move both these guys in here, or we could also send them down here, or even over to the right there into Khantoum, which is off shot right now. Arvins, there's 3 Arvins in there, and on this side over here you can see we've got a veteran US unit. So they're going to activate this, which is our second RP spent, and they're going to move both these guys in here, and then they're going to pay a 3rd one to attack there. And you might say, well, why would you do that? Well, why not? It's also an example of, it's just a way to show, again, because this one is pacified. So if they can, and we'll have to reveal these for combat, if they can defeat them, then they'll be able to subsequently, assuming they both survive, or at least one of them survives, subsequently change this from pacified to neutral, and then ultimately to, communist control. Okay, so when you attack or commit a VC unit to battle, they get revealed. So I'm going to flip this over. and that's a 1. There is also the possibility of there being a 2-strength VC unit. And so it is 2 to 2, which is pretty good. You know, that's decent odds at least. So let's move our dice tower in here and try to not mess up any counters, but I do want to be able to show this. I'm zoomed in pretty good, as you can see. So we'll roll, and it's 6-3 in favor of blue. So that's going to be 8 to 5. So 8 in the red, 5 in the blue column is no result. So they did not do anything to the allies there. And an 8 in the blue column is 1. So they're going to lose 1 of their VC. And it'll go back into the VC pool. And that ends the combat. Okay, so we've moved up to North Vietnam area. Now, I've made 3 stacks of 3 here, but you can... oh, wait, we can activate them and move them. So that's what I was going to do. I was going to move 4 of these NVA units. And they have a movement of 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to move them. So this is the end result. We started up here, and we went 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're here, which is above the Kontum province, where we just had the battle between the 2 VC, which is now 1, and this veteran US unit right here. So now, next turn, because that was our 4th and final RP, so this card will now become a discard, and we're going to go over to the US turn. Okay, so staying in a little bit of a wider shot here, let's look at our cards again. So we have 2 4s and 2 3s. So our Tet Holiday would be a proposed ceasefire. If he refuses, add 1 hawk or 1 dove. If he accepts, both players ignore our results and eliminations to the body count box until the start of next turn or year's end, whichever comes first. So I just realized I had screwed up here. I'd been putting people in the dead pool. That's wrong. They go in the body count box, which would have meant that with that dust off card, I would have been able to take one of these guys and put them back in the dead pool, which you can move people from here, I think, back to the body count box, which is what it would remove. And yeah, so we would have removed, because at the end of the turn, they go from here to the dead pool, and then they're out of the game. So that would have enabled us to take one of these guys out, flip him to veteran, and place him on the board. Since they used the 4 RPs, I'm not going to retroactively change anything. We're just going to leave this as is. But that is a clarification I wanted to make. Now, what I was planning to do here for the Allies is, you can see here we've got a communist-controlled province here that actually has, I think, 5, right, 5. 2 plus 1 plus 2 is 5 here for province control. So we can try to flip that to basically neutral, or in this case, that would indicate blue control but not pacification. So because we have Arvin units here, it's automatic, but I did not yet choose which card I'm using. So let's use the Pentagon papers here. So this has a cool event on it. So we're going to get 4. We're going to spend 2 to add 1 hawk. So the hawk track, the hawk dove track, is on the game track, which is off this direction, and I'll show it at the end of the turn. But that went from 7 to 8, and higher is better for the higher hawk is better for the Allies. Dove is the direction, and you have a hawk counter, and on the flip side is dove. So you go down to 0 hawk, and 0 hawk is still hawk, but after that it becomes dove, and then it climbs up on the dove side, and higher dove is better for the peace process, or basically ending the war in the favor of the communists. So our Pentagon paper event here, we added 1 hawk at the cost of 2, and that leaves us 2. We will spend 1 to remove this and put this now in control of the blue player. So this is now a essentially neutral, a neutral province. And then we're going to discard this card because we already played the event. We have 2 RPs left. We're going to activate this stack. And we will move. We're going to move. We're going to activate this one, I think. Yeah, we'll activate this one. And we're going to move this Arvin unit here. So that costs us 1. And then we're going to remove this here as well. Now again, Arvin will automatically change control to blue. VC will automatically be able to change control to red. So if there's a VC unit in a province by itself, they can turn it to red. And if there's an Arvin with no enemies, they can turn a red province blue. So in this case, we turned it to red, or from red to no marker. The blue markers, this guy right here indicates pacification, which is like an extra level of essentially control. Because for the communists, they would have to remove this first and then flip it red to indicate control of the province. So it's a 2-step process. Conversely, the blue, to pacify this province, they would then have to do it again to kind of put the lock on it, essentially. The reason you do that is because at the end of the turn, once we go through our 4 phases, at the end of the turn, we're going to determine the political will, and that will move the hawk-dove track. And for every if you have 7 or 8 red flagged provinces, you're going to increase towards dove by 1. Now, right now, they had 8, so I just flipped 2. Now, you can't see them all, but we have Quang Tri, that's 1. We have Quang Ngai, that's 2. We have Pleiku, which is 3. And Pleiku, by the way, has no units in it right now, so I could elect to move somebody in there and flip it, but I'm out of markers right now, or I'm out of actions rather. Okay, so we had Pleiku, which is 3. Then we have Kin Hoa, which is here, which is 4. Tai Nin is up here, that's 5. And then we also have Qian Fong. That's, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we still have 7. So we did have 9. So they're still on pace to add a dove, because they also have Anjan down there at the in the south, which is off shot right now. So that actually ends that phase, and we go back to the card play phase for the communists. This is our third phase. So again, we still have our response card, which we'll keep. And we didn't actually have any combat by the allies, so we didn't have a chance to use that turn. We do have 4 and 3. What we're going to do here is they have the Hanoi Hilton, which gives 4, and they can use this to move an allied unit from the body count to the dead pool if you're the blue, or from the dead pool to the body count. What that does is you get the dead pool affects the score before moving to the body count affects the score before moving to the dead pool. So this would hurt the allies, and that would help the allies, because you would be taking one of these units and moving them here, which prevents them from being scored. But this is held by the red player. There are no units in the dead pool currently, because this is the first turn of the game. So we're going to play this for its resource points. So we're going to get 4 resource points again. Now, looking at their situation, here we still have a 6/6. We also have our unit up, well, it's off shot, but those 4 NVA units that I moved down the trail last turn, we're going to actually activate that province, which is Atapu in Laos, and we're going to move it into Kontum. So I'm going to shift my shot here to show this. Okay, so the area we are talking about is right here. And as you can see, we have 4 NVA up here, and they can all move. They've been activated. We've activated Adipu, and they're just going to all move into Contum for one action or one RP point, and then we're going to spend our second RP point of the 4 we have available to cause battle here. So we have a total of 4 plus 1 is 5 against 2. Now, the Americans can attempt to evade, or well, it is Americans in this case, but the Allied player could attempt to evade and escape, but they would need to roll a 4, 5, or 6 to do so. So let's try it, because with 5, if they roll even a roll of 1 would mean I'd have to spend an SRP or lose a unit. I only have the 1 unit, so I'm going to roll my my blue die, and if I get a 4, 5, or 6, we get a, oh wait, actually it's a 3, 4, 5, or 6, because we're not in Laos or Cambodia. So it's a success in South Vietnam. We rolled a 2, and a 2 means that we have to have the battle. So we're going to end up losing this unit, pretty much guaranteed, unless well, we'll see what we get here. Yeah, we're going to lose it. So they get a 7. The Allies get a 7, and the Communists get a 9. 9 in the battle table for the Communists is 1. So he's going to the body count box. And for the Allies, they got a 7, and a 7 in their column is also 1. So they will lose a VC unit, and they will lose that unit. And this one of these guys will get, or yeah, those we get to promote. So since only 1 Allied unit fought, they can only flip 1 of these guys. So we now have a veteran there. So now they have his total strength of 5 in here. It stays 5 because they did lose a unit. So they've now spent 2 RPs. 2. Let me remove this. Now they can attempt to remove the pacification. Correction. This gets removed automatically due to there being no Allied units in there anymore. So they will spend 1 RP and make this communist controlled, because they have a VC unit. It does not involve a die roll. And that now moves them up to 8, I believe. Yes, they have 8 provinces under their control, which is still only 1 dove point, but it does move them closer to, 1 more would give them 2 dove points. So that leaves them now with 1 RP remaining. And we're going to activate Quang Gai here. Let me reframe. So we're going to activate Quang Gai here, and we're going to move 1 of our VCs into Quang Tin, which is our 4th point spent. And I could have instead given myself an extra SRP, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to move this here so that next turn we'll have 2 opportunities. Well, we'll have an opportunity here to flip this control-wise. And that's going to end their 3rd activation. So now we'll look at the Allies again, and we'll just look at their cards real quick. They have the Tet Holiday, and then they have Bring Smoke and In Country. Now, Bring Smoke is an interesting one. So if you have a province that has artillery and a friendly that has a friendly artillery and an enemy unit, you can spend 1 RP, and you can actually make them retreat a unit or kill a unit. So we're going to buy this one. Maybe I should buy Tet Holiday and not buy the event. We're going to use Tet Holiday for 4 RPs here in our 3rd activation. All right, so what we're going to do here is we are going to move, we're going to move our Arvins here, of which we have 4. So this costs us 1. We're moving here. And then we're going to attack here. But he's going to try to ambush first. So we have one VC. So the first thing we're going to do is reveal this unit. And it is a 1. Okay, so it is an actual unit, and therefore we can do the ambush. So let me bring my dice tower in here. And we're going to roll the 1 red die. And if we roll a 5 or 6, we will eliminate a defending unit. If we roll a 1, the VC will be eliminated. We rolled a 3, so that's no effect. But we are going to have a battle here. So we'll just leave that there. Now for our battle, since the blue is attacking, and this is our second RP that we're spending here, we can actually bring in support if we want to, and we have the Blue Water Navy here. So what you do here is, if blue is attacking, oh wait, well, first we have to do the attack. So let's do the attack. So they have 4 and they have 1. So let's roll. And it's a 7 for the communists and an 8 for the blue. So 7 in the communist column is 1, so they're going to eliminate 1 unit. And the blue got an 8, and an 8 for them is also 1. So both sides are going to lose a unit. So the VC is going to go back to the VC pool. They are going to lose one of their untried. The other one will be promoted. So they now have 2 veteran units in there. And we can now spend and well, they actually hadn't taken control, so we don't have to worry about trying to promote that. So let's see. What do they have here? They have 5, and 1 is 6. We have 4 here. And we have, sorry, I know this is off shot, 3 there. Okay, for our next action, the US here, or the Allies rather, we will, this up here is Quang Tri with a VC unit in it. So we're going to send, we'll send this veteran unit here up. They can attempt to ambush, so they will. So we have to reveal. And it is a 1, so they get to attempt the ambush. I'll roll off camera. They got a 4, as you can see. So no, not successful. Now, they can also then attempt to evade rather than fight. So to evade, they need a 4, 5, or 6. So we're going to roll again. And they got a 6. So they're going to evade. And they will retreat into Laos. And I think they become unrevealed again. So they're now up in Laos, off shot. And I just realized I did not show that. So this is Quang Tri. So we activated and moved them up here. They do not have to pay 1 for the battle because it didn't take place. The VC, which was a real VC, as you can see, retreated up here, and I believe he becomes unrevealed again. And now they can spend an RP to remove this because there's an ARVN, so it's automatic. It's an ARVN with a US artillery unit with it. And down here in Thuatin, which has Wei in it, we have more ARVN units, 3 untried. And then below them in Quang Nam, which is where Da Nang is, we have some Americans. And that province is pacified. So that is 4, and that ends the Americans' activation. So we're going to go back to the NVA, the communists, and we're going to use pucker factor because it has more. So our response card we still have not used, but we get to keep it. pucker factor, and I could have used that. I keep forgetting. Yeah, it would have just evaded. So it would have saved that VC that we lost, but I don't think that's a big deal at the moment. So pucker factor, cost 1 RP. Choose a province with red and blue. Your opponent must retreat at least one of his units from this province. You may buy this event more than once. So this is an interesting one, because this gives us the opportunity to do something interesting. So if we come back down here to Darlock, you can see we have 1, 2, 3 allied units in there. I could spend all 3 of these to make them retreat. So let's do that. So these guys are going to have to retreat. So we'll send the, let's see, how do we want to handle this? We'll send these guys here, and we'll send these guys here. So they went, so you saw where they went. They went to Quanduk, and the air mobile went to Toi Hoa, and that gets discarded. So that was pretty quick. And now we have the US, and they have 2 cards left. Bring Smoke and In Country. Okay, In Country, you may attack once for free in every mountain province. So the mountain provinces, we're going to use this one, and it's going to give us 3, and then we can attack for free in a mountain province, any mountain province. Once. Attack once for free in every mountain province. So Khartoum is a mountain province. So what we can do now is we can spend 2 RPs to activate Bin Din and Quang Tin and move both of them into Khartoum. So we will do that. Actually, I think we have a stacking limit of 5. Let me confirm that. Blue has 4 infantry unit is the stacking limit. Okay, so let's move those 2, and we'll move 2 of these, I guess. That gives us a total of 6. They have 1, 3, 4, 5. So it's 6, 5. They could attempt to evade, but I think given they know this is, the odds are fairly even. We get a free attack. So even though we spent 2, that allowed us to spend 2 RPs just to get in there. And now we're going to attack, and it's 3-2. So both score 8. So 8 for the red is 1, and 8 for the blue is also 1. So both sides lose 1 unit. So they have to lose NVA before anything else. So they're going to lose 1 of their NVA. The other one will get promoted. And they will also lose an NVA. And the other one will also get promoted. So now they have 3 veterans. So it's 6-5 still. And now because blue attacked, they can actually reinforce with air or naval units if they want to try and attack again. And we can, because we do have 1 RP left, although I was hoping to win the battle. Well, you have to roll really well to do a lot of damage. Because we don't have that much strength there. So let's move our... Actually, I do have my bomber still too, and we get a free action with that. I'm going to try not to forget to do the bomber mission, but we're going to attack again, and we're going to bring the air cav, and so that gives them now 8, And I think this guy can also react, the Blue Water Navy. So I think that, yeah, because it's 8 away, they're technically here. So 1, 2, yeah, he's definitely within range. So it's that would be 2 more. So 2, 4, and then 6 is 10. Their strength is 5. The defender, they can attempt evasion. So maybe they'll do that this time. They're going to attempt to evade. So they have 3 units. So they can evade on a 4, a 5, or a 6. And if they roll a 1, they have to lose a unit or pay an SRP, and there is a battle. So I'm going to roll. They got a 1. So the 1 means they lose a unit or pay an SRP. So they'll pay the SRP to keep their unit. But now we have our battle. So we roll for our battle. And it's 6 for blue and 3 for red. So with 10, that gives 16 for blue. That's going to eliminate all 3 of their units. So this was a good battle result for blue. They got an 8, and an 8 for red is 1. So they're going to lose, the Americans will lose 1, or the Allies rather will lose 1. So they're going to lose 1 of their veteran Arvins. And they're going to lose all 3 of their units. Now the VC, of course, go to the VC box, not the body count box. And so now they're there, and they did have to pay the RP, so that leaves us with 0, but I'm going to do my bombing mission now because that costs 0 RP. And we're going to do that here. And we flip this over, and we roll on the bomber ground attack chart. So there are 3 units there. A 1, 2, or 3 will defeat them. So let's roll. We'll just roll the blue die. And we got a 1, and a 1 with 3 units is 1 unit eliminated, so they will eliminate 1 of their veteran NVA. And this guy goes back to the airbase box. And that is the end of the last turn. Oh, and I still forgot to use this. So that's my bad. I'm bad with cards, reaction cards, because I'm playing both sides. I always forget that. But that actually ends this turn. So all of our discards will get shuffled back into the deck for our next turn. But let's talk about the interphase, which is what you do between turns. So we're going to be moving from 66 to 67. So we have an interphase to go through. Okay, so here you see the interphase summary. So score any played Grand Campaign cards. We didn't play any. Check for collapse in Laos and Cambodia. We don't have that. Cambodia isn't even in play yet, and Laos, nothing happened in Laos. 3, adjust political will on the game track. So we're not in 69 yet, or higher. Place 1 dove for every U.S. International Force ROK unit in the body count box. There is 1 U.S. unit in the body count box. So they're going to move 1 direction towards dove, which moves it to 7 Hawk. Then move units in body count, VC to the VC pool, NVA tanks off map, remaining units to the dead pool. Okay. Count red flag provinces in South Vietnam. Add doves based on how many. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So with 7, they get another dove point. Right there. 7, 8 is 1 dove. So that moves the Hawk down to 6. Then we go to RVN stability. Subtract pacified provinces from RVN units in the body count box. Blue must pay the difference in SRP or the RVN government collapses. So we have 1, 2, 3 pacified provinces, And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Arvins in the dead pool. So, with 3 pacified provinces and 5 dead Arvins, we now have to count red flag provinces. Did that. Check RV instability. Subtract pacified provinces. So we have to pay 2, which we do luckily enough have. So the blue had 2 SRPs left. That's what they paid. The government does not collapse, but we don't have any SRPs left. Add 3 doves if they, and then check for victory. So there's no victory yet. Then you'd go to the reinforcement summary, which is the start of the next turn. I'm not going to do that in this video, but just to kind of quickly go through that, each player would get 2 SRPs. The red will get an extra 1 starting in 68, but ending with Commando Hunt. Blue, plus 1 SRP each year. Their political will is Hawk. Is Hawk less than or equal to 0? Is that right? Lower than 0 Hawk gives you an SRP. Okay. Take reinforcements in 69. We didn't do that yet. We didn't get to 69. Move units in body count box. Oh, I already did that. Take replacements from the dead pool. 8 NVA, 5 Arvin, 1 unit, all this stuff. If not collapsed, buy remaining replacements from dead pool. 1 SRP each. That's optional. Players deploy units, blue first, etc. Then the blue will refuel its bombers, which just means flipping these guys back to the other side. Then you draw and deploy your VC. Deploy and draw and deploy 1 VC. If 10 has not occurred and there is less than 10 VC in play, you can put out a second. And then the blue will redeploy all air naval units plus 5 blue units to any province without red flags, or red flags, or red units rather, or to Saigon. So that is what would happen next. Just in case I end up not doing another video at the moment, I did want to show that. So that is going to do it for this one. If you have questions or comments, I know I screwed up at least a little bit. Please feel free to post, to ask questions, etc. I will be happy to answer if I can. Or even if I can't, I'll probably still answer. But that's going to do it. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and/or subscribe if you're not a subscriber. If you are a subscriber, I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. That's going to do it. I'm Joe. This is Hexed Encountered. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.